Did you know that the average person spends nearly an entire year of their life searching for misplaced items at home? Think about that for a second. One whole year spent looking for keys, glasses, papers, or something you knew was right there yesterday, but seems to have vanished today. It's not just lost time, it's lost peace of mind. Imagine what it would feel like if all that wasted energy could be reclaimed. If every corner of your home welcomed you with a sense of ease instead of frustration. Take a deep breath and picture it. You open your front door, step inside, and the very first thing you feel is calm. The space is warm, uncluttered, inviting. Instead of your eyes jumping from pile to pile, they settle on what truly matters. The cozy chair, the soft light, the small details that tell your story without drowning you in noise. Doesn't that sound like the kind of home you deserve? Welcome, my friend. Today, we begin a gentle journey together. It's called From Chaos to Calm. And in the next few minutes, I'll guide you through 7 simple steps that can transform not just your home, but the way you feel within it. These steps aren't about chasing perfection or forcing yourself into an impossible routine. They're about creating a sanctuary, especially for those of us over 60, where every day feels lighter, simpler, and more meaningful. And here's something beautiful to hold on to. It's never too late to begin. The real surprise is that change doesn't start with your belongings. It starts with the way you see yourself and your space. And once that shift begins, everything else flows naturally. That's where our story starts. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine stepping into your living room. What's the very first thing that greets your eyes? Maybe it's a favorite armchair where you've read countless books. Maybe it's the warm glow of a lamp you've had for years. Or maybe, if you're honest, it's the stack of magazines on the coffee table, the pile of unopened mail near the door, or the basket of laundry that never seems to find its way back to the closet. That first impression matters more than we often realize. It sets the tone for how we feel in our own home, and by extension, how we feel in our daily life. Here's the truth. You don't have to keep living inside that picture of clutter. You have the power to redraw it, to look at the very same room with fresh eyes. When you shift the way you see your space, you start to shift the way you feel inside it. A messy corner isn't just stuff out of place. It's an invitation, a little whisper that says, this can be better. This can feel lighter. But the shocking part is that clutter doesn't only take up physical space, it quietly drains your energy. You might not even notice it at first, but the weight of too many things builds a background noise that never stops humming. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a sudden heaviness, as if the walls themselves were pressing in? That's not your imagination. It's the energy of clutter, and it pulls at you every single day. The beautiful thing is, the moment you start to really see your space differently, you unlock the possibility of change. It's like adjusting a lens on a camera. Suddenly the blurry parts come into focus, and you realize the room has been waiting for you to notice it. And maybe, deep down, you've been waiting for this too. Here's a gentle secret that often surprises people. You don't have to tackle your whole house at once. You don't need to spend hours pulling everything out of your closets or emptying entire rooms. The key to lasting change lies in something much simpler. Starting small. One drawer, one shelf, one little corner that you've been ignoring for too long. That's where the real magic begins. Think about it. You open that messy drawer filled with pens that don't write, old receipts, and keys you no longer recognize. At first, it feels overwhelming, almost impossible to decide what stays and what goes. But then you pick up the first item, make a choice, and set it aside. Suddenly, the drawer isn't just a drawer anymore. It's a symbol of possibility. With each little decision, you create momentum. And with momentum comes confidence. What happens next is almost like a ripple effect. You clear one drawer, and suddenly you feel the urge to tidy the table nearby. You sort a single shelf, and you catch yourself smiling when you pass by. These small victories build on each other until, without realizing it, your energy begins to shift. Things were finally beginning to improve, but then comes the real test, letting go. You'll come across something that makes you pause. An old card, a sweater, a tiny object that tugs at your heart. And that moment, it's not just about decluttering. It's about facing the quiet emotions tied to your things. And that's where many people freeze. If you've ever stood in front of an item whispering to yourself, "Should I keep this or should I let it go?" you know how hard that moment can be. But here's the truth. That single, brave choice to release one unnecessary object can be the turning point. It proves to you that yes, change is possible. And once you feel that, nothing can stop you.
Every item we own carries a story. That old sweater folded in the back of the closet might remind you of your very first trip abroad. A chipped coffee mug could bring back mornings shared with someone you love. Even a broken clock, long since stopped, can hold the memory of a special gift. This is why letting go feels so hard. It's not really about the object itself. It's about the invisible thread that ties it to a moment, a feeling, or a person we don't want to forget. When you hold an item like that, you're not just touching fabric, wood, or glass. You're touching a piece of your past. And that's where decluttering becomes emotional. You stand there, caught between two truths. The memory is precious, but the object may no longer serve you. So, what would you do? Keep the memory or keep the item? Most people stop at this point. They put the object back, close the drawer, and walk away. It feels safer to hold on than to face the discomfort of letting go. But here's the gentle reminder. Your memories don't live inside old things. They live inside you, your heart, your mind, your stories. You don't need a broken lamp or a pile of faded letters to prove that your life was filled with love, laughter, and meaning. The real act of courage is to honor the memory without being trapped by the object. You can say, "Thank you for the role you played in my life," and then gently release it. In doing so, you create space, not just in your home, but in your soul, for new experiences and new memories to take root. Perhaps you face this very struggle yourself, standing there with something you can't quite part with. And if you have, then you know how powerful it feels when you finally let go. It's not just a decision, it's freedom.
Minimalism is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and instantly imagine empty rooms, cold white walls, and a life stripped of comfort. But in truth, minimalism is not about living with less. It's about living with more clarity, more freedom, more joy. It's about intentionally choosing what truly belongs in your life and gently letting go of everything else. Imagine walking into a room where every item has a purpose and every object you see sparks a quiet sense of happiness. There's a chair that invites you to sit, a photograph that makes you smile, A soft blanket draped across the couch that warms you on cool evenings. Nothing extra, nothing weighing you down. The space feels open, peaceful, and deeply personal. Instead of being surrounded by things you've collected out of habit, you're surrounded only by things that add value to your life. But here's the surprising truth. Minimalism isn't about emptiness at all. It's about intention. It's about creating a space that reflects who you are today, not who you were 20 years ago. It allows you to release what no longer serves you so that what remains can shine even brighter. Think of it this way. When your counters are clear, you suddenly have room to bake cookies with your grandchildren. When your shelves hold only your most treasured books, each one feels like a special friend waiting to be opened. When you walk into a clutter-free room, your mind instantly quiets, your breathing slows, and your shoulders drop in relief. That's the magic of minimalism. If you've ever longed to feel lighter, calmer, and more connected to your home, minimalism offers that path. It's not about giving up what you love. It's about finally giving yourself permission to keep only what matters most. And in doing so, you discover that less really does create more. Clutter doesn't usually arrive all at once. It creeps in quietly, little by little, until one day you look around and wonder how it all built up. That's why routines are so powerful. They're like gentle guards that keep the chaos from returning. Without them, even the tidiest home can slowly slide back into disorder. With them, your space stays light, calm, and welcoming. The beauty of a routine is that it doesn't have to be complicated. Just 5 minutes in the morning to clear a counter, 10 minutes before bed to fold a blanket or put away a few things. These small habits may seem almost insignificant in the moment, but together, they weave a rhythm of care into your everyday life. They remind you that your home matters and that you matter too. Think about it. The quiet sound of freshly folded laundry, the warm scent of a clean kitchen after the dishes are done, the soft glow of a lamp in a tidy living room. These little rituals are not chores. They're acts of kindness you give yourself. They transform ordinary tasks into moments of calm. And here's the surprising part. Routines don't just keep your home clean. They soothe your mind. They create structure and a world that can often feel unpredictable. They give you small wins that add up to a deep sense of control and peace. If you've ever ended a day feeling restless or unsettled, wishing for a bit of order, you're not alone. Many of us have felt that same heaviness. But once you begin to embrace gentle routines, you'll notice how different the evenings feel. Suddenly, instead of being pulled down by clutter, you'll find yourself lifted up by the comfort of consistency. It's a simple practice, but it can change everything. When we think about decluttering, we often focus only on what we see. We imagine clear tables, tidy shelves, and empty floors. But serenity isn't just visual. It reaches into all of our senses. A truly calming home touches your eyes, your ears, your skin, and even the way you breathe. That's why this step is so powerful. It's about creating a sanctuary that doesn't just look peaceful, but feels peaceful in every possible way. Close your eyes for a moment and picture it. The room is softly lit, warm, but not harsh. The faint scent of lavender drifts through the air. A gentle blanket rests on the back of your favorite chair, ready to wrap you in comfort. In the background, you hear only quiet. The steady ticking of a clock, the distant sound of birds outside, maybe even just the silence of stillness. Each detail is small, yet together they create an atmosphere that feels like a deep, calming breath. What's surprising is that these touches don't require much. A simple candle, a plant by the window, a soft rug under your feet. These elements remind you that your home can nurture you, not just shelter you. They remind you that comfort doesn't always come from having more, but from choosing wisely what surrounds you. And just when you think the transformation is complete, you realize there's still one step that makes everything unforgettable: your personal touch. Because serenity isn't about copying someone else's idea of peace. It's about finding the sounds, the textures, and the scents that speak directly to your heart. That's when your home truly becomes a retreat, a place where you can breathe, rest, and simply be.
The final step in this journey is perhaps the most meaningful of all: adding your personal touch. Decluttering and simplifying create the foundation, but what makes a space truly yours is the way it reflects your heart and your story. A room that feels calm is wonderful, but a room that feels calm and personal is unforgettable. Think about the small details that instantly bring a smile to your face. Maybe it's a framed photo of your family taken during a joyful holiday. Maybe it's a handmade quilt that carries the warmth of someone's love. Maybe it's a simple plant on the windowsill that greets you every morning with a burst of green. These are not just objects. They are extensions of your identity, whispers of who you are and what you cherish. The key is balance. Your personal touches shouldn't overwhelm the space or pull it back into clutter. Instead, they should stand out like gentle notes in a favorite song. A candle that fills the room with a comforting scent. A treasured book placed by your reading chair. A painting or photograph that stirs a sense of peace every time you pass by. These little moments of recognition remind you that this is not just a house, it is your sanctuary. And the beauty of this step is that it doesn't require anything new. Often the most powerful personal touches are already with you, waiting to be placed where they can shine. When you take the time to choose them carefully, they transform your space into something that feels both calming and deeply alive. In the end, your personal touch is what makes the journey complete. It tells your story without words. It makes your home more than organized. It makes it yours. And when you walk into that room, surrounded by just the right touches of love, memory, and meaning, you'll feel it instantly. This is not just a place you live. This is the place where your soul can rest.
And here we are, standing at the end of this journey. What once felt like a storm of endless clutter, piles of papers, and scattered objects has now transformed into something far more meaningful. A calm, intentional space that truly supports the life you want to live. The chaos didn't disappear overnight, but step by step, choice by choice, you created clarity out of confusion. You turned overwhelming disorder into a manageable process, and finally, into peace. The beauty of this transformation is not only in the tidy shelves, the clear countertops, or the neatly folded clothes. It's in the way your space now reflects your values, your rhythm, and your needs. It's in the quiet confidence of knowing that everything in your home has its place and its purpose. More importantly, it's in the way your mind feels when you walk through your door, light, free, and focused. Remember, this isn't about achieving perfection. It's about building a sanctuary where you can rest, create, and thrive. Your home is no longer a battlefield of clutter, but a reflection of calm, order, and self-respect. The real success lies not in the spotless rooms, but in the peace you carry within yourself. From chaos to calm, you've proven that change is possible, and that even the messiest beginnings can lead to the most beautiful transformations. This is your new chapter, and it starts right here in the comfort of your own peaceful space.